Guys, I am celebrating the resurrection of the market with a nice glass of strawberry milk this morning. We're switching it up. All right. So, I have the total market cap, excluding Bitcoins. This is for all the alts pulled up. And just to give you guys a little reference, because I got my fib charts already pulled up here. Let me make this a little smaller so we can see. So, right in here, this is about the time. This is on the 1 hour chart, which I tend to like the way these flow. You can see, sorry, my glasses had something on them and I can't see. Right here was as like the initial decline started when Elon first started talking about Bitcoin. This was yesterday. We had your V drop. Boom, boom. And I'm telling you, this is all market manipulation. There are orders set at this bottom because they expect it to happen. There's no way you can explain it to me because it just boom, boom. Immediately, Asia market opens. You see here, it's not quite as drastic as ours was. Ours was just like straight down. But anyway, you still get your V bottom in there and just boom, boom, working our way back out. We have passed the 702, fought right through it. We are now past this. And I mean, if you get up in here, you guys see a way of looking at this. Each of these are ranges in here, and when you get through these fib levels, you don't really have any major resistance until you get to your next fib level. That doesn't mean it's going to, launch straight up into the stratosphere or anything, but just the way these fib levels tend to work, they react right around them. I mean, you see here, it's fighting, boom, fighting, boom, fighting, boom. You can see it right on the lines. That's where all the action's going on, and I think a lot of these whales and stuff like that, they know what they're doing. I'll just say that. I don't want to get into a whole spiel on that this morning. You can see that at the very, very bottom, we had dropped down to 720.8 or 21.8 billion. So basically 722 yesterday. And now we're all the way back up to, 1.025 trillion. So that's roughly $300 billion has already returned. I think it's fantastic. I'm going to leave this chart up. We'll look at this again at the end. And like Blockchain Backer said, when you start to see 20, 30, 40% on everything, you know it's over. So this guy has not led me in the wrong direction yet. So I tend to really pay attention to what he's saying. Obviously, you do all your own research. Never just go by what somebody says, which we have an article we're going to get into in this video about that also. But, everything I've taken from his videos and applied to my strategy and followed has worked out. So with that being said, not financial advice, just what I got going on over here. But yeah, I mean, you see everything 20, 20, 30, 15, 15, 50, 29. I mean, everything's really recovering well. Granted, a lot of this stuff's not going to be anywhere near back to where it was, but I mean, look at Cardano. It was just barely over $2, and I mean, here it is again. Cake's back up to 21 here in just a second, probably. I think it had dropped to like 15 from 30 something. There it goes. Oh, got some resistance going on. Anyway, that's going to go any second. H bar's back up to 27. That was raging earlier, so I'd like to see where that goes. But anyway, enough of that. We'll go look at some numbers for everything, make it a little easier to see. And again, you're seeing the same thing. Like on your hours, those are always going to differentiate, but you start to seeing it here, 16, 15, 17. I'm rounding up with a lot of these, but, it's recovering, period. I have finally reached almost 100 followers on Twitter. It's crazy how hard it is to get this stuff going, man. Especially, none of my friends really are on Twitter, so I'm having to, persuade them to get on here and follow me. I did change my Twitter handle to my .crypto address to make it easy for people. If you ever want to send me some crypto for whatever reason, there you go. Oh yeah. We also have 36 subscribers on YouTube now. Let's refresh that. Got a couple views this morning, and we have 98 Facebook group members. So that's growing right along with everything else. All right, I'm going to close that. Sorry, I'm not that organized. Kishu Inu has been all over Twitter again. They were all over Times Square on those huge billboards where the ball is. It was working really well, and then everything happened with the tweets and the crash and everything else. So obviously that affected everybody. They are on the way back up, it looks. This was a tweet actually before that one. I had that backwards. Yeah, there we go. I just had an extra tab up. This is Dex Tools. There's a couple people in the group asking what we use to check price action and stuff all day. I mainly use TradingView, which is actually available inside of CoinMarketCap. You can just click on the TradingView view, and it kind of does it there. I like the full featured platform myself, but and it's free. But even the one I'm using is free. I'm not paying for it. So this is dextools.io. This works really well for like the ETH based and the BNB based coins and all that. You can find like the craziest stuff on here. So yeah, this is Kishu's been going through. What do I have this on, the 4 hour? Let's see how the 1 day looks. You know, there's yesterday, pretty big drop, 20%. The day before it went down 23%, 14%. So you can, it's gotten hammered pretty hard. But I expect it to make a big run. They are putting it on this huge billboard in LA. I can't remember what it's called. I should have had this pulled up already, but it's like this big building, and the billboard looks like it wraps around the whole thing. It's right by all these major highways. And then they're also putting it, I believe, on like 200 and some taxi cabs in the city. So you're going to be seeing it all over the place in LA. So it'll be interesting to see if the meme rage continues on. I hope it does, because I do hold Kishu. I hold some BNB Diamond and some MetaMoon still too, but I'll show you what they've done. Oh wait, that's on Binance Smart Chain. Let me go over here. Yeah, so you can see what the you can see where I was pulling fibs a couple days ago, but why does their 1 day look so weird? Here, let me get out of this. Let me go their 1 hour. Yeah, so I actually had gotten in this after its first run. I got in right around here. I thought it was going to do a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 type wave, and yeah, as you can see, that's not what happened. I am accumulating this whole time, but I would really like for it to get back up into, this range somewhere. I'd probably get out of here at this point. And I showed you guys this one, MetaMoon. And these were both cool projects, similar to SafeMoon type stuff, but as you can see with this one, it just and that's it. It is really just, even the pool W wrapped BNB it's come back now a little bit. All these went down really far because people were getting liquidated and stuff. So it's article I found interesting is that global banks use twice as much energy as Bitcoin, new reports suggest. The global banking system uses substantially more energy than the Bitcoin network. Galaxy Digital's new research paper is in response to the growing scrutiny surrounding the electricity consumption of Bitcoin's proof-of-work blockchain. Author wrote, Bitcoin's energy usage has become an easy target for criticism, but this criticism raising the question, Bitcoin uses a lot of energy compared to what? XRP, I can tell you that. Cardano, VeChain, HBAR, I can keep going. Pretty much everything. Doge is better. Let's be real. You guys know, I'm not going to say I hate Doge anymore, but you know how I feel about Doge. It's better tech. It's an improvement on Bitcoin. Nobody can argue that. Yeah, they are. It's, they're talking about the government's attempting to curtail Bitcoin mining. This has been a lot of the Bitcoiners' defense. They'll be like, "Oh, well, fiat uses this much energy," and what about the renewables? I've done some reading on the renewables in Bitcoin, and it looks like to me, I think they said like 65% of Bitcoin mining operations utilize some form of renewable energy. And then when you start breaking into those numbers, you find that out of all those, they're all using like 15 to maybe 30% renewables, which I think is great that they're even taking that initiative. But the point is, if Bitcoin's using all this energy, the point of renewables isn't to just be able to make as much as we possibly can and just blast through it. You know, the whole philosophy, the whole mindset of renewables and getting clean energy and stuff is also to lower energy consumption as a whole. It's not to say, oh, we can create free energy in such mass quantities that we can just do all this stuff. That's part of it, but you would like those things that you're fueling with this to also be way more efficient than they are now. And I believe the figure I saw the other day, the XRP uses something like 100,000 times less energy. So just keep that in mind. Don't quote that number, look it up yourself, but I'm pretty sure that's what I just read a few days ago. I'm not going to read this article because it's a little ridiculous, but Instagram is coming out with an NFT platform. They are reaching out to upcoming artists in the NFT space to help them build it. So it's interesting. People are saying it sounds like a platform that's behind and looking to use leverage they've had over the past 10 years to pretend like they care. Whatever. If you're going on Instagram with NFTs, it's huge. I don't care. Binance Smart Chain's Pancake Bunny exploited. Community claims $1 billion loss. This is pretty major. I don't do Pancake Bunny. One of my buddies who's in the group just asked me about it. We were talking about it a few days ago. It had some sort of glitch in using a flash loan, which I'm not going to break that down too seriously in here, but basically the flash loans, you can get loans where you put down a very low percentage and you can set up smart contracts to where it'll do arbitrage between all these exchanges super fast, and you basically it plays the system. It's not, I wouldn't even say it's an exploit. It's you're just taking advantage of prices being different on other exchanges and like exchange rate. Like let's say XRP goes way up and something else doesn't. It's still worth a certain amount USD, but because your XRP is worth so much, you can play on those differences and make a ton of money. So yeah, it says that the attacker made off with 100 billion worth of tokens, and it appears the mechanics of the exploit were confused for the actual proceeds of the attack. Sources calculate the real losses to be around 50 million. None of the vaults on the platform were compromised. So yeah, about 110 million worth of value has vanished from the market cap, leaving a big hole in the pocket of investors. This is the same place I tell you guys where I have my regular cake. So I'm really glad I hadn't done this yet because I had been looking at it. Yeah, so basically, where's it at? The calculation, this is how this stuff works. The calculation function for mining new tokens depends on the price of the BNB and Tether pool. If the ratio of BNB or Tether reserves of this pool were higher, the pool's price would fall, and vice versa. In other words, the price of the pool could be manipulated based on the reserves of BNB and UST. So he used a bug on these flash loans. 8 flash loans, 7 from Pancake Swap pools, 1 from 42 Bank, a DeFi lending protocol I'm not familiar with. So he borrowed $704 million worth of these coins. I mean, that's crazy. And then he basically used these flash loans to manipulate the price of BNB in the pool. And he provides liquidity to the pool. So basically he's driving the price up, then he's driving it down. Then you see right here, after he does that and mints all the 7 million tokens, it causes a crash of 100%. From $146 to 90 cents. I mean, what? Now it's already back up to 28. I might need to go get some bunny. I wonder if how Christopher Green feels about this, because he hammers the bunny train a lot. Anyway, so be careful for stuff like that, guys. It is crypto. Things like this happen. It's all still so new. Here is an article about Miami. Is crypto Miami for real? Well, I think it is, but this is an interesting story. I'm not going to read this, but so yeah, they're starting to set up so much stuff down there with crypto. I would definitely look it up. They have augmented reality artworks down there. So much stuff. The mayor wants it to be like this big mining hub. They're really interested in like the art side of it. They're talking about tokenizing the graffiti walls and slapping QR codes to add augmented VR and AR elements to them over in the art district. I mean, just think about this, guys. I'm kind of just scanning through this. the crypto friendly regulations. I read that that's a little misleading, but that they will be changing that and becoming much more friendly soon. Florida's regulatory environment is not the best, not terrible, middle of the pack. It just happens to be Florida. The mayor is really big into crypto. He's been very, very adamant about that. They're talking about Bitcoin with nuclear energy, and pretty crazy. They had a little video down here somewhere. Where'd it go?
Time to check in with CoinDesk Global Policy and Regulation Managing Editor Nick Day, who is also the editor of CoinDesk's The State of Crypto newsletter. Hello there, Nick.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning. So we're hearing that Miami's mayor wants to turn the city to a clean mining hub. Walk us through what's going on there.
Yeah, so he was speaking to Laura Shin on her podcast the other day and said that he thinks Bitcoin should be mined, or there should be more Bitcoin mining in the U.S. He cited a stat that 90% is currently mined outside of the U.S. And, in terms of, one of the big complaints about Bitcoin mining right now is that it's very, energy inefficient. It uses not clean energy sources like coal and, natural gas and such. He proposed nuclear power as an alternative, said that Miami does have does or could have the nuclear power generation capabilities to support the Bitcoin mining network, which, as someone who's covered climate change in the past, nuclear mining or nuclear power is much, much cleaner, relatively speaking, than other forms, and pretty efficient. It's honestly not a bad way to generate power. I think probably the big question now is it cheaper than other mining sources? The Bitcoin network's probably, it's going to go to wherever the cheapest energy generation is. And if nuclear power in Miami fills that gap, then great. But if it doesn't, then, you then have possibly excess power generation.
Thanks, Nick. In other news, I know you've been following the OCC. What's going on there, and what is the significance of it?
Yeah, so last week or possibly the week before, time's weird, but I wrote in State of Crypto that the top two frontrunners for the OCC position under President Joe Biden were University of California Irvine School of Law professor Mirza Baradaran and brain fart. She's the front runner. She's her name has been thrown around since January. For refile, there were some other names in consideration. Last week, apparently, 3 new names emerged. We're talking former SEC Commissioner Kara Stein, former Fed Governor Sarah Bloom Raskin, and Atlanta Board President Raphael Bostic. Their names emerged last week, but Professor Baradaran still has an immense amount of support. She's still kind of the front runner, I think. The Congressional Black Caucus even wrote a letter endorsing her on Thursday or Friday. But the fact that there is no official confirmation at this point is starting to get, interesting. It shows that there's definitely some kind of a fight. The fact that so many names are just emerging and being thrown around.
Hey, Nick, not to put you on the spot here, but you saw the Saturday Night Live clip on NFTs, and it was just, funny that they portrayed Janet Yellen as just bewildered by all of this. I'm just curious, what's your perspective on how informed, she is, or just generally the U.S. Financial leadership, regulatory authorities are on all this crypto stuff?
So my thesis since I want to say at least 2019 has been that, a lot of these agencies and government departments have people who are very, very well versed in this stuff. You have SEC or CFTC, you have folks who, if not necessarily at the very top, at the commissioner level, although, obviously the fact that, we have Commissioner Hesselberg and former CFTC chairmen, Hit Harbert and Christian Carlo show that it is, at the top, but at the very least, you have staffers at all of these departments and agencies that are very well versed in this. Treasury is no different. They definitely have people who are extremely up to speed, and they're the ones who are, informing the policy decisions of the folks who are leading these agencies and departments. So while I can't speak directly to, how well versed Janet Yellen is, she's definitely got people at Treasury who really understand this and who are, saying, okay, we recommend this, this, and this. And, it depends on really what these policy experts and what these staffers say and what they do. That's going to, inform how policy gets rolled out. But I think, in answer to your question, like they definitely know this stuff. It's somewhere at the top.
Yeah. Nick, thank you so much for joining us this morning and offering your insights.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's that. And just to finish things up, they had SEC had a risk alert in 2017, and now it is back. And it is basically, it is never a good idea to invest in something just because someone famous says it's a good investment. And they're very right about that. Like I said a few weeks ago, I think what happened with Doge on SNL, and then you look at what just happened with Bitcoin and the entire market, this whole situation that Elon's creating, I think it's actually really bad for crypto, to be honest, because, well, it could wind up being good, but in the short term bad, because it's going to force them to come in and start regulating even more under the guise of investor protection, because you do have a ton of people. I mean, I have so many friends that are Doge holders, and I bet most of you could not tell me anything about Doge other than the fact that it's been going up crazy amounts. Elon tweets about it. I think Paris Hilton had a little run at it there for a while too, but and that's okay. I mean, I don't expect anybody to just, be able to like recite code to me or anything. I can't do that, but you can't give me a real use case for it. You probably can't do much besides have it sitting in your wallet, and so it is true. If people are buying it based upon that is an uneducated investment. It doesn't mean it can't work, and I hope it does work. I am so happy that some of you made money. I have a couple of you that are family members of mine who had a whole bunch of Doge. Kind of blew my mind when I heard about it. Shout out to you guys, but just keep that in mind. Usually when the media think about this, the media for the last 3 months has been like, buy Bitcoin, drove the price from about 40,000 up to 64,000, which is only like a 50% increase. Don't let those big numbers and the shiny amount get you guys. That's nothing. XRP has outperformed Bitcoin hands down this year by over 100%. So, those big numbers don't matter. It's the percentage that matters, because it matters what you put in. It wouldn't matter if Bitcoin was if it went from 50,000 to $1 million. That's only a 20x. Now, granted, that's a lot. That's a great jump, but you got altcoins that are doing 1,000x every day. So just keep that in mind. We'll go back and just check on the chart again, and you were still stepping up on the 1 hour. So that's good to see. If everything is okay and nothing crazy happens, this should march its way on up into here. And it's not going to be a straight shot up. It never is. And if it is, you better be careful. But I like this. You got a wave here, a little stop, another wave. We could see anywhere from 3 to 6 of these on the way out. So let's keep our fingers crossed and let's pay attention to what's going on, people. Do not be one of those people who got liquidated yesterday for, what was it, $700 billion or something? I mean, that's so sad. Like, I can't even make light of it. That's really terrible what happened to a lot of people yesterday, and people weren't prepared. Oh, that's what I was getting at. The media was, and this is why. The media has been pumping to you, Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. I mean, think about it. That's all you've heard about since the beginning of the year. Buy more Bitcoin. It's going to 100,000, 200,000, a million, 300,000, all this stuff. And right about the time that everybody's mom, dad, grandparents, aunts, and uncles finally get convinced to get into the crypto market, and what are they all buying? They're buying Doge. They're buying Bitcoin. What happened to both of those right now? They both tanked. And it's not a coincidence, guys. This is what they do. They lure you in and they pull the bottom out. They rotate back in, and then they drive the price back up. And by the time the fear has subsided and people decide to put their money back in, you've already missed out on massive percentages again. It's not rocket science, people, and this is a fact. That's not in my opinion. This is what happens. You can watch it historically with so many things. I mean, you think it's a coincidence, then you're not paying attention. You need to wake up. And on that note, I'm going to get off here. I will talk to you guys soon.